Good morning, students. I hope you are well there. I am also well here. Yesterday we will discuss on the physiological role or function of the oxygens, and I hope this audio was good for you for the completion of your course. So today in this sequence we will discuss now physiological role or function of gibberellic acid. As you know, acid have a lot of major biological roles in growth and development of the plant. For example, seed germination. What are the role of the gibberellic acid in seed germination? What are the role of the gibberellic acid uh, for the formation of alpha amylase? What are the role of the gibberellic acid regarding the dwarfism? What are the role of gibberellic acid regarding the breaking of dormancy of seeds or buds, and what are the role in root growth, what are the role of the gibberellic acid, or you can say the pronounced role related to the elongation of the internode. So one by one we will discuss what are the role of gibberellic acid, flowering, during flowering, and bolting, what are the means of bolting, why it is related to the gibberellic acid, not the others. So all such point will be discussed in detail one by one. So come to the first point is the seed germination. Based on the light, seeds are divided broadly two categories. Some seeds need the light for the germination. This is known as positive photoblastic seeds. Some seeds, or you can say most of the seeds, don't require light during the germination period, and such type of seeds are known as negative photoblastic seed. So those seed which require the light for the germination, and this light can be bypass, you can say bypass or replace if you are treating with the gibberellic acid. So for example, in case of lettuce and tobacco, you will see the slide number 1, then your point will be clear regarding the seed germination. Those photoblastic, positive photoblastic seed need the light for the germination. During that time, due to the natural changes, if light is not there, so you can't wait for the light, or artificially there is no need to create the light during the germination. In such cases you have to use different concentration of the gibberellic acid and prior to germination and go for the germination, so germination will be going on smoothly. Come to the next point is the slide number 2 in dormancy of buds. 3, slide number 3, dormancy of buds. As you know, and I taught you a lot during the practical classes regarding the dormancy or breaking of the dormancy. So in temperate region, buds form in the autumn generally and remain dormant until the next spring season will come. So this period from autumn to the spring, dormancy of bud can be induced much more. So during that period, if you want to enhance the productivity, or you can say the growth of development of plant, then you have to see the role of the gibberellic acid for the breaking of dormancy. Next is the case of, in vegetable point of view, in case of potato, during the storage condition, no need of germination is required. So that time we were using for the I think one oxygen, synthetic oxygen, to prevent the sprouting. But after just the harvest, if you want to the grow the potato, then you have to use the gibberellic acid. So the node contain the, as we know, potato have the node, no? Node means auxiliary bud. Those bud means modified shoot, or you can say condensed shoot. Shoot means they have the capacity to grow up wildly. So this can be enhanced or broken by the gibberellic acid. Root growth generally, with respect to the root of gibberellic acid, is inversely work. Higher concentration, in some cases it has been reported, inhibition of the root growth may decline. The initiation of root is markedly inhibited by the gibberellic in isolated cutting. So whenever we are talking about the cutting, generally for the root initiation we are using for the auxin and some part of the cytokinin, but never we are using the gibberellic acid. Elongation of internode. As I told you earlier, this is the most pronounced effect of the gibberellic acid on plant growth regarding the internode elongation. And this can be, some plant are genetically dwarf, and dwarfism in many cases or crop cases is good for them, but in some cases, for example, sugarcane, when internode will be longer, it means uh, cane juice will be more, sucrose percentage might be more. So in some cases it is very good to enhance the elongation of the internode. For that purpose you can use the gibberellic acid. See in next slide, here we were taken the 7 different concentration of the gibberellic acid. In first cases there is no gibberellic acid we are using artificially or synthetically, because whatever the amount of gibberellic acid found in naturally, so naturally found look like the others, it is shown as a dwarf plant. But when we are increasing or taking the different concentration of the gibberellic acid, then you will say the plant growth and development or elongation will be higher. So as per, this is the one cases, this is not the generalized, the concentration of the gibberellic acid required for the elongation is different for different species. So it has been clear from this experiment that gene producing gibberellic acid is either missing or inhibited, because some inhibitors concentration is higher than the gibberellic acid. So artificially or synthetically or exogenously, you can say supply of gibberellic acid is required for the more growth. Come to the next slide is bolting and flowering. In some cases it has been observed, for example, you will see here the cabbage, the stem and leaf are the rosette type. Rosette type means very succulent type, means very fleshy. The and internode between the two nodes is very short. So this is look like the rosette type of plant. This rosette type of plant can be transformed into the elongated type of plant. Such condition is known as bolting. Bolting means those part of the internode which have the capacity to initiate the flowering bud. So this is known as bolting shoot. Is that clear? Concept regarding the dwarfism. Any internode will be elongated more, but here generally we are working for the elongating the bolted shoot which have the leaf primordia. Parthenocarpy, in many cases like the grape and stone fruit, it has been observed if we are using the gibberellic acid, or it has been found gibberellic acid concentration more than the non-parthenocarpic fruit. So it means clear cut indication they have some link with the seedless fruit. So it has been observed in many cases, especially in the stone fruit and pome, and tomato and large side grape will be enhanced with the help of exogenous application of the gibberellic acid. Light inhibited stem growth, this is not need to explain much more, because when we were manually did the experiment, in that case we have put the 3 or 4 pot, one potted plant in the inside the polyhouse, one potted plant inside the shaded nest, and one potted plant in openly condition. When we have observed in open condition the stem length or internode elongation is short than the shaded one. So this slide is saying the same things. It means you can say the light is inhibit the growth of the internode or elongation of the plant. So if you are light, during the light condition, if you exogenously apply the gibberellic acid, it means light inhibited stem growth is suppressed. So stem growth is more and girthiness is also good. And de novo synthesis of alpha amylose, this is also again related with the germination of seed. So because alpha amylase has been produced uh, because of gibberellic acid, de novo synthesis of gibberellic acid in allulose layer surrounding the endosperm of cereal during the germination. This enzyme will work for the hydrolysis of the starch. So simple sugar will be produced. This simple sugar will translocated to the growing part of the embryo. So this because of translocation, uh, embryo will develop more and got the energy for the further development of the seed, germination of the seed. So I think this is the a number of you can say slide which will help you pinpointly for the physiological role and function of the gibberellic acid. However, whatever we have discussed here, this is the all in general way. If you want to the specifically, then you will search on internet what is the role of gibberellic acid in stone fruit, what is the role of gibberellic acid to overcome the dwarfism. So you can also search a lot of things with the help of gibberellic acid. I hope this audio and PPT will help you to covering your syllabus regarding the physiological function of gibberellic acid. Thank you very much.